Welcome back to my channel. So today's topic is Shigellosis. So let me give you more details about this bacterial infection which can have problems with people, like they may have symptoms of diarrhea and something more. So let me give you much details about this Shigellosis. What exactly is this, how it is caused, what are the various treatment options, and a few diagnostic approaches to identify if you are having this infection. So as you all know, the recent death case that has happened in Kerala because of consuming shawarma. Okay, so you might have heard this news where the student died because she had consumed this food which was contaminated by Shigella species. So this is a bacteria which is causing an infection called as Shigellosis. This usually affects your digestive system. So this is not a new disease. This Shigella infections were there from prior, but recent case has led to a panic in people basically because they were not aware about why the death had happened. But after the post-mortem report, they have identified that this reason for death is Shigella species which has infected the person. So contaminated food or water samples can lead to these issues. And these symptoms usually begin from 1 to 2 days of infection, and it can extend up to 7 days. And most of the cases, this can be easily recovered by without antibiotics also. But certain cases, if the person is not very much immune, if he has weak immune system, then there is a chance that it can cause more problems. So this is also called as BACILLARY dysentery. And according to the recent statistics by CDC, 450,000 people in US alone are suffering from this Shigellosis and their symptoms every year. So this is how a Shigella species looks like under a microscope. So the basic route by which this organism can enter you is the mouth. Okay, so this is the basic route by which it enters, and once it enters your system, it will have an impact on the various systems, and it causes symptoms like dehydration, vomiting, diarrhea with blood, dysentery. So these are the basic common symptoms that are seen. So you may get stomach pain with cramps, you may have diarrhea with blood, you may have fever, nausea, vomiting. So these kind of normal symptoms are seen during this infection. And the exit of this organism is through the feces. Okay, so that is the way by which the organism leaves your body. So even though you are having this infection and you have recovered from it, your feces may have this infection, or it may have the organism even for few weeks. So even though you have recovered, there's a chance that you can it can be contagious and it can pass to the next person based on how hygienic you are in the hygienic practices you're trying to follow. Okay, so this is very important. Coming to the causes, so accidentally you might have swallowed this bacteria through contaminated food, contaminated water. So there are various sources by which this organism can enter you. And one more important thing is the soiled diapers. So we might be changing the diapers of the babies, and there, if the baby has been infected by this Shigella by somehow, and we know that the babies are usually less immune, so the chances of infection is much more in them. So there, if you do not follow the hygienic practices, if your hand is not clean and you go and start cooking, then definitely there's a chance that this organism, if present in your hands, can reach the food. And once some people consume that food, there's a chance that it spreads from you to the other person. So in this way, contaminated food, contaminated water, so these are the main sources or causes by which this infection is seen. So coming to the risk factors, as I told you, one important risk factor is immunity. So even though we tell that it is mostly seen in children, with adults also, in case your immune system is not very strong, even you can be a prey to this infection. So apart from that, when you're traveling, you feel that there is no good sanitation. So there also you can get this infection. And one more reason or risk factor is oral sex. So basically, when person is having this kind of diarrhea symptoms, it's better to not have this kind of things, because it can spread from the mouth. We have already seen that. So in this way, there can be certain risk factors which we need to consider. Coming to the complications, you may have a lot of dehydration kind of problems. You may have bloody stool, as I told you. You can have other problems also, like your blood count starts decreasing, platelet count start decreasing. And we know if this happens, you will have a lot of weakness. And at the later stages, they have seen that even it can lead to blood infections. Okay, so it entirely damages your intestinal lining and causes entire bloodstream infection. So this can be detrimental. So if this happens, definitely it can lead to death. So coming to the diagnosis that we have. So basically the diagnosis for this disease is done using the stool samples or the feces of the person. So this stool sample analysis will be called as the fecal analysis, and this can be plated in the suitable mediums. So one of the medium which is suitable for the growth of this organism is McConkey agar. So once they plate it in this particular medium, based on the colony morphology, they can identify which organism it is. So there are microbiology specialists who will help in identifying this species. Apart from that, there are a lot of biochemical tests. So this is just to show you some color changes. So you need not bother about the color changes, but basically have an idea that there are a lot of biochemical tests also which can be very useful for identifying or diagnosing this particular organism. So coming to the treatment options, there are a lot of over-the-counter drugs available. So bismuth, Pepto-Bismol is one thing which is widely used, and this will help in reducing the frequency of your stool. And there are other antibiotics also available, and since I told you the people will suffer from dehydration, you can give some dehydration solutions, like you might have heard about ORS. So in this way, these kind of dehydrating solutions can be given. So coming to the prevention options, the most important thing here is hygienic practices. So if you are having this infection or you're handling some people who are having this infection, then definitely you have to keep yourself clean. So washing your hands regularly with soap and water, and at least for 20 seconds you need to keep washing your hands so that the germs which are there, organisms which are there in your hand is completely killed. Apart from that, definitely small children, we have to be even more careful. And soiled diapers, as I told you, this has to be discarded properly in the suitable bins. And apart from that, definitely contaminated food and contaminated water are the major sources from which this organism can enter you. So definitely these things has to be kept in mind. And even when you're having this kind of infections and you have just recovered from this, please do not go swimming, because there's a chance that you will contaminate the water there, and there definitely it can spread it to the next person. So these are the few precautions or preventions which are available. And coming to the takeaway messages, we have seen how this Shigellosis can be caused because of Shigella poisoning. Okay, so this is the organism which is leading to these issues. It is basically infecting your digestive system. This is actually not very fatal, but because of some other issues, or maybe your immune system is not strong, it might have led to a death-like situation in Kerala. So coming to, apart from that, they've seen a lot of other people also who have visited that place. They had a lot of diarrhea-like symptoms, and many are infected because of it. So you have to be very careful when you're choosing your place to have a food. And definitely you have to cook the food properly and see to it that you eat food which is hygienic and it is not a stale food. So good hygienic practices is the only mantra here. And definitely I have already told you the route of entry, that is mouth, and exit, that is your feces. So there are a lot of diagnostic approaches available, like you can culture the cells, you can confirm it, and even biochemical tests are available. So as of now, since there is no vaccine for this particular infection, we have to be very careful. So stay vigilant, stay safe. So thank you for watching. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe to my channel. And please like this video and share this video with maximum people so that awareness can be created. Thank you.